she has brought millions. I wouldn't be surprised if it's billions of eyes onto the W and onto women's sports. Mm-hmm. She is a Kobe Bryant. And that's how Diana was. That's how Sue was. Like, we've had these types of people, but this is just bigger because the media platform is bigger than it ever has been. I don't have an ego, so I'm able to just tell the truth. Like, if it was someone else, I'd be like, yeah, like Angel Reese, she's also brought millions of fans. You know what I mean? I think Caitlyn has brought way more, but I also think she has too. Like, I'm just not naive, and I might be blonde, but I'm not fucking dumb. People who say I'm a clout chaser, no, I'm just being honest about why the league is where it is at. Give the girls the flowers, like, give it to them.
They've earned this moment. The truth is finally spilling out, and it's coming from someone who's never been afraid to call it exactly how it is. Sophie Cunningham has had enough of watching the WNBA disrespect the very player who dragged the league back from the edge of irrelevance, and this time, she isn't pulling any punches. What makes her defense of Caitlin Clark hit so hard isn't just the message itself. It's the messenger. Sophie's been saying this long before it became trendy, and that's what gives her words the weight they carry.
If it wasn't for Sophie Cunningham's podcast, I never would have had this eureka moment. Sophie Cunningham came to the Indiana Fever in the offseason. She's been taking full advantage of every opportunity she's got. An opportunity on the court, ballin'. An opportunity to protect Caitlin Clark, did that. Off the court, endorsement deals. Off the court, advertisers are falling in love with her. We got Colin Cowherd saying, hey, Sophie, you want your own podcast? Sophie Cunningham says, sure, I'll take my own podcast. And what has Sophie Cunningham been doing on this podcast? Letting us in on some secrets? Yeah, love that. Pulling back the curtain on some time? Yeah, love that too.
This isn't some bandwagon voice chasing clout off Caitlin Clark's name. This is Sophie Cunningham, the same player who stood up for Clark while her own Phoenix Mercury teammates were busy scheming against her in the locker room. The same woman who saw the Caitlin Clark effect long before anyone else in the WNBA had the courage, or the sense, to admit what was unfolding right in front of them.
Why does everybody hate Caitlin Clark? And do you hate Caitlin Clark? Come on, talk
dude.
to me.
Absolutely not. I think that she's a gem. I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. And I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball. And I'm a fan.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe. While other WNBA players were busy ranking Caitlin Clark as just the 9th best point guard in the league, Sophie Cunningham was already calling her a gem and openly saying she'd love to play alongside her. And this wasn't after Clark had silenced every critic. It wasn't after the record-breaking ratings or the sold-out arenas. This was back when Clark was still being targeted by bitter veterans who couldn't handle the spotlight she was shining on their fading league all in just her sophomore year.
When you see all this vitriol of people who cannot stand her, it's like, okay, well, what has she done wrong?
Yeah.
She's a great basketball player, so you might not think it's fair that she's the face of the league, and that's understandable because there have been fantastic players in the WNBA for a long time. But Caitlin didn't disparage them. She just came in and kind of changed the game with her style. So I think it's one of those things where you have to say, okay, maybe I don't think it's fair based on the previous women who have been in this league, but it's not Caitlin's fault. All she's done is elevate the game for all of us. And I think instead of being pissed off about that, you should be appreciative of that and say, maybe it's not fair, but it's not your fault.
And I get other players, like they've worked hard and they've worked to build this league up over their time. And all of a sudden this young player comes in and now all the attention is on her.
The numbers don't lie. They prove exactly what Sophie recognized before anyone else. When WNBA players filled out their all-star ballots and shoved Clark all the way down to 9th among guards. Despite her leading the entire league with over 1.2 million fan votes, it exposed everything broken about the league's mentality. Dick Vitale didn't sugarcoat it, he called it pure jealousy. And he was right. But Sophie Cunningham? She had been calling out that same jealousy long before it became undeniable.
Time and time again, Sophie Cunningham has repeatedly been calling out the officiating. And what's one thing the WNBA holds over these players' heads? Ooh, I'm going to fine you. Ooh, if you call out the officiating, I'm going to fine you. The players say, no, I can't afford that. So they keep it all hush-hush. But Sophie Cunningham, she's sitting on a pile of money. So when Kathy Engelbert hears her say something about the referees, Kathy says, here's a fine. And Sophie says, okay,
Here's what sets Sophie apart from the rest of the league. She understands the business side. She knows that when Caitlin Clark's games pull in 2.7 million viewers, the most watched WNBA game in 25 years, you don't tear that down. You protect it. You build around it. Because Sophie realizes this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about the survival, the growth, and the future of women's professional sports.
Never saw it coming. They went and got Sophie Cunningham, 6-year-old black belt. This is what the Bulls did with Charles Oakley to protect Michael Jordan. And I said this last year several times. The WNBA is not a vertical league. Their players can't jump over each other to score like the NBA. It's a horizontal chippy league. And you didn't watch the NBA for the last 10 to 12 years. It has always been physical and always been chippy. You get into a lot of collisions because there's no Ja Morant here. There's no Ant Edwards. They don't jump over. It's a horizontal physical league. And Caitlin Clark now is like kerosene to the physicality flame. So you have physicality in this league, and now you get this flashy player, and they don't know how to officiate her. They don't know how to.
When Sophie joined the Indiana Fever in 2025, she didn't waste a second making her stance clear. She has changed our game in the best possible way and every way. I want her to go do her thing, and anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here. That wasn't polished media training or safe. Diplomatic talk, that was real, genuine recognition from someone who had seen firsthand what happens when a league is handed a generational talent. And then came the most damning revelation. On her own podcast, Sophie exposed what was really going on behind the curtain during Clark's rookie season. Even when I wasn't on her team, I know the talks Phoenix had in their locker room of like, we're going to show her what the W really is. This wasn't just competitive fire. It was coordinated, targeting a campaign against a player whose only crime was being too good, too fast, and shining a spotlight on a league that wasn't ready to handle success.
You know, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And so just to be alongside of her and maybe relieve the pressure, being able to shoot and spread the court for her to go do her thing. She's still young, and I think that I've been Diana took me under her wing, and I've learned a lot from her, and now I hope to kind of do the same for Caitlin if she wants it. I just think the relationship piece is huge, and when you're trying to do something great, it takes everybody, and so I want her to go do her thing, and anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here. But again, I think that like just the competitor that I am, I'm fierce, I'm sassy, I stick up for my teammates, stick up for my...
But this is where Sophie's integrity stands out. She could have stayed quiet. She could have played along with the crowd. She could have brushed it off as nothing more than rookie treatment. Instead, she chose to speak the truth even when that truth made her former teammates and colleagues uncomfortable. Every rookie coming into the league will get some of it, Cunningham admitted. But there's just more for her. It's her second year now. Being on her team and seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? It's just too much.
I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of like, no, we're going to prove her, we're going to show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And like, I get it to a certain extent. And like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them. But there's just more for her. So it's her second year. And like now being on her team and like seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? Like actually it's just too much. Yeah. And like, it's just, I'm over. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much.
No, that's so
like, that's fair, right?
When someone with Sophie's experience says it's too much, you know the line has been crossed. This isn't competitive fire anymore, it's something darker. The disrespect Sophie had been watching went far beyond hard fouls or cheap shots. It was systemic. It was cultural. And it was tearing down the league's greatest chance at real growth. The breaking point came when Caitlin Clark was poked in the eye by JCS Sheldon and then shoved to the floor by Marina Mabrey. Instead of protecting her, the referees somehow hit Clark with a technical foul while her attackers skated away with little consequence. That's when Sophie decided she'd seen enough. With 46 seconds left on the clock, Sheldon made a steal and was headed for an easy layup. But Sophie sent a message that echoed far beyond the court. She grabbed Sheldon and dragged her to the floor, igniting an altercation that changed everything. Within 24 hours, Sophie's social media following exploded from a few 100,000 to over 1.2 million across platforms. This wasn't just viral fame. This was vindication, proof that fans had been watching Clark get targeted while the league looked away. I didn't do that for clickbait, Cunningham explained. I stand up for my teammates, but the fan reaction told a different story. They weren't just celebrating Sophie's defense of Clark, they were celebrating the fact that, at last, someone had the courage to do what the league itself had failed to do. Protect its most valuable asset.
It just feels like people are jealous of this new little wave of.
They are, but I just hate that because, like, this is what we've always wanted as a league. So, like, who cares who gets the credit? And if you're smart, you're making money off of them.
Yeah.
Like, you are literally making money from the viewership.
And what she made the chirp was about how she didn't help plan the fucking.
Who cares?
shirts.
Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I just hate when, like, people do stuff to get, it's like clickbait.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and there's so much clickbait, especially surrounding Caitlyn. And so, like, it's just like, just be nice. Like, why can't people just be nice?
Yeah.
That's what I don't, coming from the girl who.
I was just saying, we just talked
drugged
for 2
someone
hours about how
down.
you fucking beat someone up.
Just be nice. It's not that hard.
The business implications of Sophie's stance can't be overstated. Caitlin Clark has generated more interest, attendance, and revenue for women's basketball than any player in history. She's transformed TV ratings, with Fever Games averaging 1.178 million viewers compared to just 394,000 for the rest of the league. Entire cities move games to bigger arenas just to handle the demand she creates. The smart move should be obvious. You protect that investment. But instead of celebrating their golden goose, the WNBA has let her become a target. Instead of building their brand around their biggest star, they've enabled a culture of jealousy and resentment that threatens to destroy the very phenomenon that could elevate the league to heights it's never seen. On her podcast debut, Sophie made clear just how deep this problem runs. It literally pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league. What? There's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. We've got a lot of badasses in our league. Hell yeah to that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, or that our league would be where it's at without her, you're dumb. This wasn't trash talk. It wasn't exaggeration. It was reality. The numbers are undeniable, the impact is measurable, and the transformation is visible to anyone not blinded by jealousy or ego. Sophie sees what so many in the league refuse to admit. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's the player, the one who changed everything.